Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Lorenzo and I'm back with another episode of the Platinum Newbie. It's been a while since the last episode and this is because I've moved to Malta. I still love StarCraft and I will still be playing it, however I won't be unemployed and having many hours a day. Last count it was about 40 hours a day of free time, why not? When you're unemployed it's hard to keep count. Anyway, I'm employed now, I'm making an amount of money and I'm really busy, so there won't be quite as many videos, but I will still keep regular videos updated also about Malta and what I do here. I just uploaded a video of some underwater action up in the miscellaneous section of my YouTube channel, so if you're at all into that, feel free to check it out. Right, so this StarCraft match. This was my first match after I think about 3 weeks of a hiatus, which was an enforced hiatus because I had sent my computer in the mail to myself. It's quite hard to lug a desktop PC and monitor around on the airline. They won't let you do it, not without a lot of paperwork at any rate. So I mailed it in pieces to myself, and thankfully it arrived with no problems, with no damages, completely intact, which was fairly surprising, in fact. So here I'm back to the game. I'm up against a Zerg. His name is Nexon, and this is the first game of the third season of StarCraft, which means we don't have any ranks. And in the comments of one of my last games against Zerg, one of the commenters, he said, "Why don't you do a Forge Fast Expand against Zerg? This is the current meta game, you should do it." So I heeded this advice, and this is a Forge here going down, and after the pylon I sent a probe to scout, and I see there's no pool, so no quick Zerglings this time, and my Forge will be finishing, allowing me to build a cannon, allowing me to expand safely to try and keep up with the Zerg macro. Now, here's what's happening. I see his hatchery going down, quite early as expected from Zerg. So what I do, my Forge is finished already, I drop down a pylon to start and cannon rush him, at least to harass and annoy him a bit. Now, if I were a pro player, I would have put the pylon probably in the hatchery spot before it was plopped down, but I didn't because I'm not a pro. So there I built a cannon to at least, harass his second base a bit and make him uncomfortable. And I think when I get the money I'm gonna build a second pylon. Here, building on probes, open the production tab for you so you can see what's going on. He cancels the hatchery. This second cannon probably wasn't strictly necessary. But with the hatchery cancelled, the economic damage is done, and I feel safe to cancel my cannons as well, because they are out of position and they won't do so much. With the money from those cannons back, I can throw down my second nexus and get that economy going. I scout his base some more, and we see here's the pool, so I'm expecting some units soon, fairly soon. Get some Zerglings that will kill this off. So I realize I'm building a gateway now. It's quite late, which happens with a Forge Fast Expand with some cannon pressure. So I'm not quite happy about that. I'm not sure if it's smart to delay a gateway that long, but hey, it happened. Now I realize there's Zerglings out, and I did the Forge Fast Expand, but it didn't do a cannon. Now in retrospect, this probably wasn't too bad because I was scouting all the time and I saw he wasn't getting any units. But in my build, in my head, I was making the cannon here, which I forgot. Another thing I forgot is that I'm putting the pylon here in the wall in, which isn't the best. It's better to put the pylon a little back, put the Forge in the gateway as the wall in, they have a lot more hit points. Now as we're pointing out mistakes, here's another one. This drone, he will stay there pretty much forever. I didn't see him, not on the minimap, not in the game, and he's getting some free scouting here. Here I realize I don't have a cannon, I don't have any units. It's been a while since I saw the pool here, so he could be right here with some Zerglings, and I wouldn't be able to do anything about it. So I felt bad about the delayed cannon together with the delayed gateway. Anyway, economically I'm doing pretty well. The second nexus is up, probes are being produced, and well, if we look in the units tab, I'm at 25 probes and he's at 25 drones, so we're equal on that. And with a macroing Zerg, I feel that's fair enough. That's not bad at all. So what I want to do in this match is basically, now that I've got the two basing going on, in my head I'm ahead. I think I delayed his hatchery. I've got the economy. I didn't have any losses apart from that pylon and those two cancelled cannons. So in my head, I'm feeling comfortable. So I'm just gonna throw down a few gateways, and I'm thinking about what tech to add on. Will I go Templar? Will I add on some Void Rays? Maybe some Colossi? And I think in this game I decided to put some Void Rays, not with a real reason, but because I saw them on an internet stream. That's the kind of reasoning I'm into at the moment. I saw them, I think they're good, so I'm gonna make them. And whatever unit it is about, it doesn't really matter. So, if we look back at the production tab, I'm just now making warp gates, and because of the delayed gateway, quite a long while after the forge. Of course, the cybernetics core was delayed a fair amount as well, and my feeling is I'm getting this by and large too late in this game. I should have had warp gates, I should have had more gateways by now. On the other hand, my money is pretty low. It's at about 200 and 200 minerals, 200 gas, which isn't too bad. And if we look at the supply tab, it's fairly equal. So, while in my mind I am doing well and I'm ahead, in reality we're actually equal at best, which oftentimes if you're equal as a Protoss versus a Zerg, I've heard you're actually far behind, because the Zergs can just explode in massive units. So here I'm sending a probe to see what he's doing, and I see some Zerglings, and that's about all he sees. So didn't find any huge army, so I'm feeling confident, always confident. Here, this probe is still here, the gateways are here, they're not making anything. The warp gate research is almost done. Getting a small army of gateway units here together, and let's see what I'm making. Here's a pylon. This game I'm doing pretty well and not getting supply blocked. I don't have a million supply unnecessarily, and I'm not being supply blocked, so I'm fairly confident and happy with that performance. So here's the Stargate going down for that planned addition of a few Void Rays. So here I finally spot this Overlord, and my Stalkers are gonna take it out. And here I'm gonna make, no, I'm not making a Mothership Core just yet. Oh, there it is. And that Mothership Core finally spots the drone. At this point in the game I was really confused. I was like, where the hell did that drone come from? It was only in the replay that I saw the drone had been there all the time, really. And if we just quickly switch to... No, I'm not gonna switch to the opponent's camera, because that would give a lot away. I have watched this replay before and actually played the game, you see. So here I'm moving out with my army, gonna place a proxy pylon, and well, as I said, in my head I'm doing really well. I think I've pressured the Zerg in the beginning. I've got my economy, it's not been slipping a lot. I've been keeping my money low. So in my head I'm doing well, and I'm gonna just waltz into his base and basically kill him. That's the plan anyway. Let's see how that goes. I'm gonna put it on first person view, getting them upgrades down. Continuing to make probes. There's the first Void Ray in the production tab, and warping in some more units. And if we glance back at the supply, it's 90 for 94, so that's fairly equal at this point. Could do a little bit better on the chrono boost energy. This one here is at a quarter, this one is at half, and occasionally they do fill up, but in general I am using them. So here now I saw 4 Mutalisks. Now that worried me, because my army is Zealots, Stalkers, and not a whole lot of them. So I'm thinking large amount of Mutalisk will be a problem. I saw only 4, so let's move out now and see if I can make something happen. So the 4 Mutalisks here, they're not that big of a deal. They do some damage while the Zealots clean up the Zerglings, but my Stalkers are able to dispatch them. And here I'm in their base. It's not a huge army, but it's dealing some damage. I'm gonna kill that queen and hopefully take down the hatchery. But here we go, 4 more Mutalisks, and at the moment I've only got 4 more Stalkers left, so that's a bit of a bind. Now here comes a Void Ray and a million Zerglings. So at this point I'm retreating, because this is not something I can deal with this tattered remnants of an army. This Void Ray is going to be taken down, and the Mothership Core as well, while the Stalkers are taking heavy losses while retreating. Now if you take a look at the units lost tab, we see that actually I've been not cost efficient, but it wasn't horrible either. I'm 500 resources behind. So he's taking down the proxy pylon. I'm 500 resources behind in the units lost tab, which isn't a huge deal. But if you look now at the units tab, he's got 66 drones and I've got 59, so let's say 60 probes. That's still almost equal, but it's a safe bet that he's on, well actually we saw he's on 3 bases, whereas I'm on 2 bases. My reaction to seeing the Mutalisks is not amazing. I'm making some cannons in my mineral line because I know the Mutalisk can harass. I think everyone knows the Muta. Oh my god, Muta's in your base. No more probes. That kind of scenario. So I'm gonna try and prevent that with the photon cannons here. As you can see, this base is getting pretty well saturated. And another thing I'm gonna do is make another Stargate, or I did that already, and I'm gonna crank out some Phoenixes. This is a knee-jerk response. I remember Phoenixes are good against Mutas, 1 versus 1 at least they are, so I'm going to make them. In the time of this game, I did not know about the Fleet Beacon range upgrade of the Phoenix, because I'm not a pro player and don't even play that much. So these are things I should know. And here's the pro tip of the day perhaps: Phoenixes have a range upgrade at the Fleet Beacon. Get it if you're gonna use Phoenixes, because it's good. It adds 2 range to their 5 range, so it's almost a 50% increase. And they're fast, so the range matters. It makes it much easier to kite and engage with them. So here's the Zerg army at my doorstep again. And the Phoenixes are doing quite alright. I've managed to get about, how much are here? Well, let's say about 8 Phoenixes out, maybe 10. And I've got a small complement of gateway units to support them, which is making me feel confident all in all. And what I did as well is make Dark Templar, because the saying goes, when behind Dark Templar. And after seeing those Mutalisk and having my army beaten back, I definitely felt behind. So at this point I'm trying to get an expansion done to keep macroing up. I'm at 70 probes now, so I could transfer some over and have a third base with some to get some more money income. You can see I'm floating a little bit of resources. I got at 1100, and here we see the army engagement. Again, the Phoenixes do pretty well, but the Zerg he's got way more Mutalisks this time. Basically, this army was a lot bigger than mine, and you can see the Dark Templar, they're wreaking pretty good havoc amongst the Zerglings and the ground units. They killed a lot, but the Mutalisks are enough to clean up the rest. If we have a look at these Dark Templar, this one has 8 kills, that other one also has 8 kills, and the one leading, all 3 have 8 kills? Awesome. So they all killed 8 Zerglings. So I'm sending these guys in, and I'm thinking I'm gonna do the standard bit, I'm gonna kill all his drones. And then I think, wait, the Mutalisks are they are what the problem is. So let's just gank the Spire so he can't make any more Mutas. And it goes surprisingly quickly. The Spire has 850 HP, but 3 Dark Templar, no sweat. Kill it immediately, and then I'm gonna go for the drones. So now he can't make any Mutalisks, and that's a good thing, because I really don't like the Mutalisks. Unfortunately, he's on the ball, gets an Overseer up, and then dispatches the Dark Templar. So in the game, I really don't know where we're at now. I've lost 2 armies. He hasn't quite, but he has had some losses as well. I managed to snipe his Spire, and well, if we look in the units tab, obviously I didn't have it in the game. I'm ahead in probes, but as you might notice, I have too many probes for my base. This one is at 22/6. This one here is at 24. This one is actually perfectly saturated, and this one is not. This is half saturated. So the probe distribution in the bases could be better, and with this many probes I might want to have a 4th base. My army, as you may see, is quite small, and if you look at the food, we are equal, but I have 15 drones more than him, which really translates in the small army size. At this point I don't really know what to do. He's gonna field lots of Mutas, and at this point I don't have a lot of Phoenix. I have 1, 2, 3, 7 Phoenix and some gateway units. My army is smaller than it was when I last met his army, so I'm not feeling overly confident here. And this Phoenix was sent out to scout and immediately finds his army, so he dies, and scares me because his army is larger than mine and mine is like right on his doorstep. So this expansion is probably a bad decision. I decided I needed more space for my drones, for my probes to mine, but the decision making here is a bit panicked and not so great. Something else that I'm doing wrong here is these probes are just sitting here. They could long distance mine. It's not terribly efficient, but sure, it's better than them just sitting there. Right, so at this point If you look at the Zerg, he's rocketed ahead. He's maxed, and I'm still at 157 supply, of which 90 are probes, 93. This is the thing I've said in previous videos. I think I'm pretty good at the macro game, and with that I mean I'm good at making probes and keeping making probes. Up to 2-3 bases I'm fine, but then you get to that 60-70 probes, and I don't stop making probes. And then I lose the flow. I've not played as much terribly long games. I'm much better in the short to medium length games. And I kind of flounder. I don't know what to do. I make probes, and then I find I need more bases for my probes, and I try to expand, and it doesn't come together. Well, here we see this army engagement. It's hard to see what's what with all the health bars. I'm gonna disable them for the next video, by the way. It's silly. But suffice to say, the Zerglings and Roaches, I think, cleaned up everything I had, with the Mutalisks just adding insult to injury, dispatching their Phoenix counterpart. So at this point, his army is overwhelmingly large. There's nothing I can do, so within a few more seconds I'm gonna throw in the GG and hand the win to him. My opponent, Nexion. At least, if I remember this correctly. These 5, 6, 7 Stalkers might have a last stand. 7 Stalkers, 2 Phoenix against 1,000,000 Mutalisks and 1,000,000,000 Zerglings. Let's see how that goes. This is going to be a show battle. It's the Alamo of Protoss. Ayur? They did lose there to Zerg. Yes, this is Ayur. They have a mothership core, 2 poor to get a proper mothership. This is the last one. And this one knows it, this one knows it, this plane knows it. He's flying here. This air corridor is still safe, but everywhere else there's Mutalisks. And there they come. And, well, as in the Alamo, as on Ayur, they stand no chance. So, their executor, which is me, is going to offer surrender, which the Zerg probably won't accept. So, after that surrender, I'll just leave, like this. Left the game. So that was that. My first rusty game after a move to Malta. It's really nice here, by the way. If you're ever in the neighborhood, you should come visit. It's a good island. Anyway, I lost. And with that, something horribly painful, I have to admit. I am now no longer a Platinum Newbie. I got demoted 2 ranks, and I'm now a Silver Newbie. So chew on that for tonight, and I'll be uploading the next game shortly. Goodbye.